Hello everyone, my name is Barry Hudgens, KK4CGM. I'm the web guy at Short Mountain Repeater Club, and I want to personally invite you to the Mid-10 Summer Tailgate and Emergency Fair. In explaining a tailgate, let me refer first to a more familiar concept, the emergency fair. As a responsible community, we are aware of and prepared for the problems associated with failure of our societal and structural infrastructure. And as a part of your preparation, you most likely have attended gatherings where products, concepts, and techniques are represented in a trade show format. This kind of approach allows you to examine specific products in determining whether they serve your planning purposes, and you can also sample some of the products and compare beans to beans, if you know what I mean. A tailgate is the same concept, only dealing with communications equipment, generally ham radio equipment. Traditionally, the ham radio community has considered emergency communications from the standpoint of assisting authorities with emergency management in times of disaster, and that's still a main focus. More recently, however, the concept of emergency communications has expanded to include personal communications when infrastructure failures occur. Perhaps a couple of Short Mountain Repeater Club members can explain it a little bit better.
My name is Patrick Michael. My call sign is Kilo Kilo 4 Charlie Golf Lima. That's KK4CGL. I'm a new ham operator. I got my license back in 2011. Basically because I felt like the ham radios were a more effective means of communication and other things don't work. Specifically, we lived in South Louisiana when Katrina came through, and although we didn't stay for the storm, we did bug out. Our cell phones, the whole 504 exchange down there and the 318 exchange out of Lafayette was just completely dead. So the cell phones weren't of any means of value of communications at all, and it was a good 3 or 4 weeks before they came back online. We had left family and friends behind down there, and like I say, for a long time could not communicate with them at all, either by landlines or cell phones. We had a ham radio and other friends and family back that stayed behind. We'd have been able to communicate with them, I think.
What was happening for communication? How were people communicating with each other? Were they?
Locally, they weren't, that I'm aware of. I say sometimes the text messages would work, sometimes the Nextel would work, but nothing was reliable. Nothing at all. In fact, all of the local radio and TV stations got knocked off the air too. There was one big station down there, WWL, that came back online within a week or two. They had a pretty good sized transmitter and had a pretty good reach, and a number of the other radio stations took turn using their facilities to broadcast from. It was like that for months.
So did that experience have anything to do with you wanting to get a ham license?
Yes, it did. Not being able to communicate was pretty disturbing, really. My father had bugged out too. He lived in the city itself, and he went to the other side of Houston, but he had the same 504 cell phone exchange. I couldn't get in touch with it for 3 weeks. So, of course, you know, again, having a ham set, if everybody had a license, we could talk to each other and kept up. I do travel quite a bit now with my job, so all the more reason to be able to stay in contact with my wife back at home later on if there should be some kind of an emergency or a problem.
Hi, I'm Billy, KK4JAP, and this is my wife, Gabby.
KK4JAO.
And we're in Tennessee, and we live here, and we go out to Arizona and spend a lot of time out on the desert every year out there. Last year we was out there. We go out by ourselves in our Jeep, and we was out last year probably 50 miles out in the middle of the desert. Arizona has 400,000 miles, 40,000 miles of dirt road out there, and we try to cover most of them. And usually we're by ourselves. And last year we come into our campground and we met a ham radio operator, and he approached us and asked us where we've been and what we'd been doing, and he introduced us to ham radios and told us that we was crazy running out there on the desert with no cell phones, no communications, no nothing. And when we was out there, he explained all the ham radio stuff for us and told us there was repeaters all over the mountains out there, and we could talk through Digipeater and different ones for 500 miles around there, anywhere we was at. And with our cell phones, we had no communication, so that really got us interested in ham radios. So we come back to Tennessee, got us a tech book, took her tech test, and me and her both passed that. Got further into it and got our general license, and just really got involved with some really nice ham radio people. And now when we go back out there this year, we'll have somebody with us besides one another. We'll have our ham radio and we'll feel much safer. And I think if you guys, for emergency situations, I don't think there's anything better than that. We've studied on them, and we just really feel like that we're going to be much safer and have communications all over the world if we want to. And, that's about our story on getting into ham radios. I just feel like that it's a fun thing, and it's a necessary thing nowadays with all the disasters that could possibly happen. And if you get out on the desert or go out on the boats or anything like that and something happens, you always got communications there. And I feel like that if I could encourage anybody to do this, that would be the thing to do.
Well, how about any situations that you might have ran into? Is anything happened to you that you didn't have a ham radio that you wish you did?
Yes, matter of fact, there was. We had another little, we got a side-by-side Polaris out in Arizona, and we went out one afternoon. Actually, we left about noon. We got out about 20 miles, got down and up on the mountain, down a road that dead ends. So we, instead of turning around and going back down the road, we decided we'd just jump off the mountain, kind of go down the mountain, and we hit a rock on our brand new Polaris now. And you think everything's fine and you won't have any problem. We hit a rock probably about a foot around, and I busted that front wheel out from underneath that thing. And we just happened to have somebody with us, but had we been by ourselves, we would have had to walk out of there. And that would have been a hard 20-mile walk right at dark. And that would have been a tragedy. And if we'd had a ham radio, we could have sat there very comfortable and called somebody to come and get us. And that was one of another thing that we thought about. You know, we could have really been in a pickle out there. And even if I got a brand new Jeep, we get out there and blow a tar or blow 2 tires or something, or get snake bit, and we can't get back, and we're 2 hours from town, one of us would probably die if we got snake bit. So, but there again, that's a ham radio is a lifeline. It's, you know, it's you can call 911 from anywhere in the world with that. Just say priority or emergency, and there you've got everybody in the country after you. And that's one of our situations right there that we had.
Do y'all carry a GPS with you or anything like that?
Well, actually, we do carry GPS with us, but with our ham radio now, we bought a new Kenwood radio that has a GPS, and we just ordered it, that goes on the radio, that we can call a friend and tell them where we're going to be, and if we're not back at a certain time, to pull us up on the computer and see where we're at. You know, and they can keep track of us out there, and we could call anyway on it, but they could all the time keep track of us and see about where we're at on that desert. And that's something that's going to be new for us, but I've seen it work, and it's going to be fabulous. And but that's a GPS that's built right into your radio, and that's a good thing.
The Mid-10 Summer Tailgate and Emergency Fair is one of the first ham radio events that embraces the preparedness community and seeks to assist you in your emergency management plans. Preparedness vendors will be offering the latest products and information, and hams from all over Tennessee will have used ham gear at great prices that will help you move ahead with your communication strategy. Great savings on new gear will also be available. Free information will be available to help you pursue your amateur radio license, along with short presentations about emergency communications. If you have products that are oriented toward the preparedness community or you want to promote your club, join us as a vendor. Booths are only $10, and that's discounted if you sign up by August 4th. Go to www.shortmountain.org and download your application. Fill it out and send it in right away. It's going to be a great time. Lots of fun stuff, door prizes, auctions, drawings, and good food. All we need is you. We'll see you there.